So now we have seen an example of API gateway in practice. Let's look at some of the characteristics of API gateway and why it's beneficial to use API gateway. So first of all, it's low cost and efficient. With Amazon API Gateway, you pay only for the calls made to your APIs and data transfer out, and there are no minimum fees or upfront commitments. Next is performance at any scale. Now, if you integrate your API gateway with Amazon CloudFront, API gateway allows you to take advantage of the worldwide network of edge locations to provide your end users with lowest possible latency for API requests and responses. AWS API Gateway also helps you manage traffic throttling so that backend operations can withstand traffic spikes. Additionally, AWS API Gateway helps you improve the performance of your API by caching the output of the API calls and avoid unnecessary backend system calls. Then next we have the Easy Monitor API activity with CloudWatch, which is straightforward. You can monitor your API activities using CloudWatch, and you can see performance metrics and other data, latency and error rates and things like that in CloudWatch. The next is streamlining of API development. With API Gateway, you can simultaneously run multiple versions of the same API, and which allows you to quickly iterate, test, and release new versions. And we have already seen an example of that. And then we have flexible security controls. API Gateway provides you with tools to authorize access to your APIs and control service operation access. You can use AWS administration and security tools such as AWS Identity and Access Management and Amazon Cognito to authorize access to your APIs. Then we have create RESTful endpoints for existing service. So with Amazon API Gateway, you can create modern resource-based APIs and then use the dynamic and flexible data transformation capability to generate a request in the language your target service expects. And then we have run your APIs without the servers, and this is basically where serverless architecture comes into picture, or what you hear these days as serverless. With API Gateway, you can tightly integrate AWS Lambda to allow you to create completely serverless APIs. So with Amazon API Gateway, you create REST APIs that your mobile and web application can use to call publicly available AWS services through your code running in AWS Lambda. And then AWS Lambda runs your code on a high available compute infrastructure and performs the heavy lifting and administration of your compute resources. So these are some of the characteristics of API Gateway.